Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you our Week 11 fantasy football starters, streamers, and fades. We're here to help you make all the right decisions on who you should keep in your lineup, who you should kick out of your lineup, and who could help you in a pinch. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right meow.
Hit that drop. Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin. That is Kyle. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it. Week 11 is here, and we are here to help you win that championship. And today we're hitting you with our starts of the week, streamers of the week, and fades of the week. Definitely check out our waiver wire pickups for Week 11, as well as our Thursday Night Football start sit matchups. So click in the link where Kyle's pointing, also in the description below. Kyle, what you got before we get going?
Hey man, we're channel's growing. It's been doing well pretty much lately. It's good. We're glad to see a lot of comments, a lot of likes, a lot of subscribes. Make sure you click that like button down there below. It helps us out. It helps us get found on other spots for other people, so we can continue to grow. And like we always say, hey, feel free to share us with a friend, especially if you don't like us, because then you could screw them over in your league.
Yeah.
And if you think we're giving bad advice, that way we grow, and then we come off like a few other podcasts that are out there that are notoriously bad but very large. But anyway, double check the waiver wire so that you can see what fell to the waiver wire when your waivers ran. And sometimes there's some good stuff down there. So make sure you hit that up, and let us know about all of your start and sit questions. We're always asking, because we're primed. We're ready to go. We're willing to help you. We're extra willing to help make sure that you get to that championship this year. And we want to see you get there and win. So let's dive in headfirst into the shallow end, start talking about our starts of the week right off the top here. We're going to break this down a little bit differently this week than last week or any prior week, actually. We're trying to shorten it up a little bit so we can get you in, get you out here and move on with your day. So we're going to jump right in here. I'm going to take over running back here. And I'm going to give you the start of the week at running back. That's Dalvin Cook. Surprise, surprise. RB1 for the season so far. Let's get back on the Cook train. Woo, woo. Right? Yeah. He's facing a defense that allows the 10th most fantasy points to running back position. But they've also kind of been facing mediocre to trashy running backs. I went back through and I looked at all of the running backs that they faced. And I'm like, oh, they saw the Giants. Oh, yeah, after Saquon was out. And then I was like, oh, they saw the Cowboys. And I was like, oh yeah, that was after Dak got hurt. It's just like one thing after another. And I was like, literally Todd Gurley is the best running back that they've faced the whole year. A guy who's a running back too, probably most of the time. Right. And so I'm like, a guy who's probably running back two still posted on them a great number. I'm thinking that the RB1 overall probably is going to get it done and find a way to do it against this defense. Yeah, he might have a good chance. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. That's kind of where we are with this. So Cook is the leading back in the league for a reason, and it's because he doesn't just beat up on bad run defenses all the time, right? He also abuses the mediocre ones. And guess what? Dallas is a mediocre one at best. All right, so let's move on here. And Justin, why don't you give us your wide receiver start of the week?
DeAndre Hopkins versus Seattle Seahawks.
There's a whole lot of, surprise.
Yeah, surprise. I mean, by now, everybody's seen that catch there at the end of the game against the Buffalo Bills.
I just want to point out that you mispronounced his name.
Oh, did I?
It's future Hall of Famer DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah.
I thought maybe you were talking about my Indiana dialect, and because that was there's a high probability of that one too.
that too, but
that's not
what I was referring to.
Oh, not this time. Sure. But hey, this is the number one defense for opposing wide receivers to score against.
Yeah.
Not a good thing if you're Seattle.
It used to be you'd hear Seattle number one defense and you go, well, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. And now you go Seattle Legion number one defense to give it up.
So it was good to see DeAndre Hopkins, future Hall of Famer DeAndre Hopkins, get 10 plus targets last week against the Bills. I think he's going to do it again. And there's one thing that we have not seen out of Hopkins this year, and that is double-digit touchdowns in a game yet.
Wait. Double-digit touchdowns? Or do you mean like more than one? You're expecting double digits,
sorry,
like 10?
Sorry.
Like, well, I haven't seen that out of anybody.
Well, it's going to happen this game. No, sorry. More than one touchdown in a game.
Wait.
Had it.
Here we go.
Write that down.
He's going to get 10 plus touchdowns in one game. Double digits.
Write it down. Lock it in. That's a lock of the century right there.
Yeah, it is. A little bit out on a limb on that one.
Right. All right, let's see tight end for me, Kyle. What you got for the start?
Tight end. All right, so this one's a little bit. This is a little touchy here. Okay, my start of the week at tight end is Hayden Hurst, and here's why. He's going up against New Orleans. New Orleans allows the 6th most fantasy points to the tight end this year on average. Hurst has been pretty reliable at this position this year, going from about week 5 on. Up until week 5, he was iffy here and there. He would have a bad game, but he's only really out of 9 games had 3 bad games that were like lower than 50 yards. Otherwise, he's actually had 50 plus yards in all of the other games. In those games that he had less than 50 yards, he actually did have, I think, a TD or 2 in those. So he's only got 3 TDs this season, which does give him a bit of a less upside. He's just basically got a really good floor, and that is that you're going to get 50 plus yards, like 4 plus catches. But what you're hoping for here is that with that baseline, you catch a touchdown on this week. And I think that's really a good possibility. Another thing to note here is that he's not been losing targets when Julio came back or when Calvin Ridley's coming back, right? He's not lost out on opportunity as a result of that. I mean, we talked about this offense in the offseason. Surprise, surprise, right? There's a lot of targets to go around. It's a Dirk Cutter offense, so there's a lot of tight end targets to go around. So it kind of makes sense that he's not harmed by wide receivers coming back into the game or being healthy, even though they are dominant wide receivers like those guys are.
Right.
So again, the downside here is that he's only gotten 3 touchdowns on the season. If this were baseball, we'd just be screaming at the screen, you're due, right? So you get that solid floor with the yards, don't have a ton of upside, which we go for, obviously,
right?
Called the fantasy football upside. But hey, it's 2020. What more can you hope for in the tight end position other than 50 yards plus a week?
Yeah.
Like you'd go, yeah, I'll take that. If you could guarantee me 5+ points in non-PPR every week of the season out of tight end, knowing what I know now, yeah, I'd take that all day long.
Yep.
All right, what do you got here, QB?
I'm gonna go ahead and double dip on this one. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, man.
There was an extra L in there somewhere.
Versus Seattle Seahawks. I swear I haven't been drinking that much. But this is the number 1 quarterback so far this season. We just talked about the number 1 running back whenever you talked about Dalvin Cook. This is the number 1 quarterback for the season, and this is a matchup that I am looking forward to. This is one of the best dual threat quarterbacks this league has seen in a long time. He's got a great rushing floor.
I mean,
great arm.
We did just see Lamar Jackson last year, though. So
I said one of the best.
Okay.
One of.
Okay, as long as you're qualifying it in that respect.
I did.
I'll allow it. I'll bless it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Judge. All right. So, I mean, this is going to be a big game for the wide receivers. I already talked about DeAndre Hopkins. Christian Kirk is going to have a big game. You know, maybe even sprinkle in a little bit of the old timer Larry Fitzgerald, future Hall of Famer Larry Fitzgerald.
I'm considering trotting out Isabella in a really, really deep rostered, starting lineup.
It wouldn't be a bad
like a multi-flex league. I'm considering it.
It's not a bad one.
I mean, the other guys are bound to get tired from running so many routes where they catch the ball and continue on.
Right.
I mean, that many yards after the catch, you have to take a break every once in a while. So
it's a good problem to have here in fantasy football reasons. Yeah. But so Murray, he's only finished outside the top 10 once this season. And that was 11th. So it wasn't like he finished 20th. No. So he's been one of the best this year. And just the last 3 games that he has played, he's finished as the number 1 or number 2 quarterback in each one of those games. So I think it went 2-2-1. So not bad, especially against this defense. Who do you have coming up on streamers?
All right, streamers. Let's hit these guys up here. At QB, I've got Jameis Winston against Atlanta. I actually waffled back and forth. I was considering who was it? I think I can't remember who else I was considering, but I thought, you know what? Let's get it done. Jameis Winston, 29% rostered on Yahoo right now. Look, we both agree. We think that the Taysom Hill stuff is just a whole lot of nothing. Taysom Hill is too important to the remainder of the offense. He's too gadgety. He's thrown 3 times on the season and run 27 times. Like this dude does not throw the ball. And when he does, he is accurate, but you would be too if you only threw it 3 times out of 30 times, out of 30 plays that you were on the field, right? So look, we don't need an improved Jameis Winston. He might very well be improved. I mean, he did have LASIK surgery in the off season, so maybe he can tell the difference between the colors on the players, or he can aim to the correct shoulder, that kind of thing. I don't know. But look, we don't need him to be better to get fantasy value out of him, right? Because he threw how many? I mean, we'll take 4 interceptions if he throws 6 touchdowns. I'll do that all day long. Yeah.
Right. I mean, so we're talking about baseball analogy. The 30-30 is a good year for baseball. Well, Jameis had a 30-30 last year.
Still good year.
He was a top 5 quarterback in fantasy purposes.
Well, the was it last year that he and no, it was the year before that he and Fitzpatrick were on the same team. And if you took the 2 of them and combined their weeks across the whole season, they were QB1.
Yep.
And that was with Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's insane.
That was last year.
Yeah. No, was it last year? No, I'm mixing my years. It was with Pat Mahomes as QB1 in 2018. That instead, if you had taken those 2 guys and put them together, you have QB1 instead of Pat Mahomes in his 50 touchdown season. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah.
But anyway, you don't have to have an improved Jameis Winston. You just need Jameis Winston to do what Jameis Winston does and throw a lot of touchdowns to guys like Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, and hey, sprinkle in some Jared Cook. Why not?
Yeah.
So just give us all the TDs you can handle against one of the best defenses in the league for a fantasy QB to face. That's Atlanta. Guess what? They're number 1 in fantasy points allowed to the QB position this year. That's on average and season long.
High score?
Boom.
Did I break
high
it?
Score. Yeah. Well, they are broken. They are broken. This is back-to-back seasons. You would think, oh yeah, Seattle, they're terrible, right? They're terrible against a lot, but they're not just singularly terrible against one position in the way that Atlanta is. And they're singularly terrible against the QB.
How bad?
Oh, they are the worst. That's right. Yep. All right. So let's move on here. Tight end streamer. Who can you pick up and start this week?
This guy, we've mentioned him quite a few times, and yet he's still available. Logan Thomas against the Cincinnati Bengals. He's 46% roster right now. The Bengals are giving up the 2nd most fantasy points to the tight end position this year. And when it comes to reliability in Washington, those 2 words usually don't combine. But if you are looking at that offense and you're looking at for a reliable option, it's been Scary Terry here and there, but it's been Logan Thomas. Mm-hmm. The guy is still getting targets. And especially with Alex Smith, the quarterback now, is the guy that likes to dump off. J.D. McKissick is coming out of nowhere in PPR leagues doing the Lord's work right now. But Logan Thomas is a guy that hangs out in the middle of the field, and he's going to get a lot of work, and he's going to continue, especially against this defense that is pretty terrible against tight ends. So safe floor with a good upside. We love upside here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is one of those ones that I think that if he gets touchdown, he's top 6 tight ends, like
easily.
He's an easy top 6 tight end. Boom. You've nailed the week on that one. He's not going to win the week for you. Obviously no tight end that's not named Travis Kelce.
Yeah. That's only one.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on here to the defensive streamer for the week. And that is Cleveland. They're going up against Philadelphia. They're 44% rostered. Philadelphia allows the 6th most fantasy points to the defense special teams, actually. And Cleveland, they've not exactly been the most consistent in overperforming. Right. And that's something you're always hoping for out of your defense, is an overperformance, something where they turn in a pick 6, that sort of thing.
Right.
So don't bet on that sort of stuff happening. Although it is Carson Wentz, so you might get 1 or 2. But they do provide a nice baseline, and that's what you're looking for when you're streaming, is you're really looking for that baseline with the upside that you're hoping for. And in a positive matchup like this, you get that upside potential, but you also get that baseline guarantee. And so I think that in a standard scoring league with defense, you can probably bet that you're going to finish somewhere in the top 12 defenses with them. And you're hoping that they finish in the top half of that group by just virtue of maybe getting an extra sack, an extra interception or fumble. And maybe you get lucky and they run one back or something. And that's what you're really hoping for, right?
Yep.
So they're going to get points for you. If you can grab them, go get them. All right, let's hit up our fades and get on with it. Let's start off with, I guess I'll start up with running back here, right?
Yeah.
I've got the running back, and I'm going with Melvin Gordon. That's right, Melvin Gordon. This is not going to be a popular choice here because he has been decent, but not great. Yeah. But here's why. He's going against Miami, all right? And you would think, oh, yeah, Miami's not that good against the running back, right? And so it's not a terrible matchup for fantasy points allowed to the running back. Miami isn't that great, actually. But here is my problem, is that Gordon is losing snap share to Phillip Lindsay a lot. There's only been 1 week that he's been a high running back 2 or better, and it was because Phillip Lindsay was out.
Yep.
Phillip Lindsay isn't out. So right now, his snap share is going down. He's hovering somewhere around, on average, 55% snap share. That eliminates opportunity left and right. And so that's a real big problem. Then you toss into it that Denver is now not going to have Drew Lock against a team that's going to throw and throw and throw and throw and throw. And they don't care if it's effective or not. They're just going to keep doing it. And eventually, Denver, who doesn't score a whole lot of points even when they have a healthy quarterback, they're going to get games scripted out into a situation where Melvin Gordon is not on the field and Phillip Lindsay is on the field because he's the pass catching back, even though Melvin Gordon can catch passes, right? Yeah. That was the thing that made him valuable in the Chargers.
Yeah.
Nope. So I would say that at best, he's going to turn into a flex option for you this week. And that's at best. I really think that you got to sit this guy probably this week. All right. So what do you got on wide receiver?
This one hurts. This one hurts a little bit, Kyle. And this is A.J. Brown going against the Baltimore Ravens. So last week, I mean, A.J. Brown only saw 4 targets, had 1 catch, and that was during the first series of the game against the Indianapolis Colts. And I think the Ravens are going to play him pretty similar and try to limit that side of the field. I mean, from what I can tell, A.J. Brown does, line up here or there, but I feel like if you can eliminate that side, let's have Corey Davis beat you on the other side. Good luck. You know what I mean? He's had a few games here or there, but I don't think the Ravens are really too scared about Corey Davis.
My argument would be sit all Titans this week. That's what I would say.
And that's the thing is, the Titans, they're wanting to establish the run. So,
good
it's
luck.
Possible. It's possible to go ahead and have to sit that as well. But I
think
can't say that, but you have to fade him as well.
But the running game is screwed up there, and it's because they lost Taylor Lewin. To the ACL tear, and so I'm seriously on the bandwagon of that team on offense is useless in fantasy football now.
Right. They're pretty broken. We talked about broken before.
Yep.
Yeah, Tennessee Titans offense as a whole is pretty darn broken. And
he was key. They have no time to get the ball out on passing game, and they have no ability to run off the left side now.
Yep.
Lewin was basically, in my opinion, he and David Bakhtiari are the 2 best left tackles in the league. And without Taylor Lewin, what are you going to do? That's the key to your offense. Is
Lewin or Luan?
It might be Luan. I don't know. It's Lewan. It can be pronounced either way. I'm sure knows. Which brings me to my tight end, right? Who has a different pronunciation than everybody's been giving forever. And that my tight end fade of the week is, if you're done. Are you done? I don't even know. I didn't see.
I mean, we're looking at the same thing. We're looking at a pretty high bust potential here. You're just hoping he catches one in the end zone for A.J. Brown. That's your hope in this week. That really is. That's my last little sprinkle on that one. Yeah. For tight end?
I was going to have Jonnu Smith, and then I looked at it and I was like, oh, nope. Robert Tonyan. That's right. Rhymes with Funyan. going against Indianapolis.
Not going to be Tonyan this week.
Not this week. Yeah. Not going to put the fun in Tonyan. But here we go. They're facing the best defense against the tight end this season. So there's knock number one. Knock number two, he has not been putting up consistent enough numbers since Davante Adams came back from his mini injury, his short time out with that ankle injury, which you need to keep an eye out, actually. He missed practice on Wednesday. So make sure you're keeping an eye out and an ear on the ground because Davante might not play. I don't know. Missing a Wednesday practice was not. No, it was marked as out injury. And it was his ankle yet again. And, coming off of a bad week like he had last week, it might explain why he wasn't getting separation, the guy who's unguardable. But if he's out, you have to probably consider starting Tonyan here because I think that the situation changes when Adams has been out. Tonyan's the guy that they go to now. Marquez Valdez-Scantling has obviously stepped up lately a little bit, but I think that he doesn't operate and could not operate as the X receiver. He's better as the Y receiver, and he's better without getting, the focal point of the defense. And so when a defense has to focus on somebody like Davante Adams, which you have to do, guys like Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who can run faster than probably anybody on the field most games that they have, he's going to get over top. I mean, he's done it in the last 2 weeks. He's gotten over top of defenses and just he's been able to run backwards into the end zone after he catches the ball. That's like how far ahead he is. He's outrunning the throw.
Yeah.
So if you have Tonyan and you've got no better option, I guess you got to start him, but I would be looking for something different. I would hope I would have an open slot that I can spin over or turn over here and maybe put a tight end on my roster who can start this week, like Logan Thomas. Other than hopeful, like catching a touchdown inside of the 5, I don't see much value this week in Tonyan. So
gotcha.
That's where I'm at on that. What do you got on QB?
We haven't talked about this guy in a little bit, it seems like, but it's hashtag Tuami, hashtag immunity pills. Tom Brady going against the LA Rams. And the Rams, they just made our boy Russell Wilson look pretty average last week. And I think they'll do the same against Tom by putting pressure up on him up the middle. When Tom has struggled in the past, it's been pressure coming from the D tackle spot. Even going back to his Patriot days. And the Rams, I don't know if you heard about this guy named Aaron Donald. So pretty decent guy that can put pressure going up the middle. And that was always the way.
So can another guy. There's another guy on that team that can do that. Ndamukong Suh. Not as effectively anymore, but he can too.
He can still do it. Like I think he's a little bit better on the run nowadays than he was on the passing and what he was in the past. But still, yes, very good point. Two really good stout defensive tackles going against this Buccaneers offensive line that they've had to do a little bit of changing here or there. So they've had to took out Jensen, put him back on left guard, I believe it was, and they brought in I can't remember his name now. He used to play for the Colts, big chunky guy. But
Booger McFarland.
It started as like AJ, I think it is, but I can't remember his last name. But the Rams are the second toughest team on giving up points to opposing quarterbacks. So I just, you know what I mean? Like I just haven't been really that impressed with the consistency that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been able to provide this year on offense.
In the passing game especially. I think that what they're doing is they're shifting more towards the running game, which is not Bruce Arians, but it is interesting to see, right? It is interesting to see.
Absolutely. So that's what I have. I have hashtag Tuami as being a fade of the week right now. Against the good old LA Rams.
Let's hit up these survivor picks and get out of here, right? So who do you have as your survivor pick this week?
Survivor pick, Minnesota Vikings. And they're going against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
So it's a -7.5 spread. So pretty good chance that the Minnesota Vikings should win this game based off the Vegas odds right now. Biggest question for Dallas is who is going to start for him at QB?
Dalton just came off the COVID list today.
Did he?
Or at least I saw the news of it today. Yeah, he did come off the COVID list. He is the intended starter, but
is the red rifle? Is he really going to be scaring anybody out there? I don't know. But you mentioned your start of the week at running back, and his name is Dalvin Cook. That is the Minnesota Vikings. Dalvin Cook is them. I think they're going to establish the run and just keep running the dang ball.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who do you
Get
have as
all
your,
that value.
Who's your survivor pick?
I am going with the Los Angeles Chargers because they're going against who? The Jets, because the Jets are the worst, and they intend to be the worst, right? Okay,
do.
so this is an 8.5 spread right now, which I find really, really low. I think it should be a larger spread than that. The Jets are intentionally losing at this point. So you have to pick any team that's playing against the Jets. It's kind of a rule now, as long as that pick is available to you. And so here's my note. I'm going to read this word for word. By continuing with Gase, the Jets have signaled that they intend to draft Trevor Lawrence, and they will vigorously defend their chances to do so by losing convincingly and repeatedly. So yeah, any team against the Jets, you got to take them.
I really wish you would tell me how you feel about Adam Gase. I really wish you would tell me exactly.
I can. The worst. Yeah. Yeah. Spiders. Yeah. Adam Gase. Yeah. He's I don't know what we're going to do if they do fire him. Like, who's the next punching bag up? I'm not sure. I'd have to think about that one for a little while. But
this one's such a good one for us.
It's so easy.
It's content.
Oh, I know who it is. No, it's Mike McCarthy.
Oh, I was going to say Captain Caveman.
Him too. I'm surprised he's still around. I think that he should have gotten fired many times over, but maybe they want to draft Trevor Lawrence too. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for the starter, streamers, and fades of the week for us here at the Upside. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell so that you're notified every time we upload the best fantasy football podcast on the internet. I'm going to go ahead and throw onto the screen here the waiver wire episode as well as the Thursday night football episode in case you still have time to see that one before the game is played. Yep. Again, double check your waiver wire, guys. And thanks for being fans of the Upside. We'll see you next time. Bye.